Good evening from the Comcast building in New York City, where our backyard is actually on the roof. It's the 4th of July week, so tonight we're having some friends over for a cookout and a celebration of America.
Welcome to the All in the USA Special Cookout Spectacular. And now, here's your host, Chris Hayes.
Well, we are here on the lovely 11th floor of 30 Rockefeller Center, now the Comcast building. Hopefully you are watching this somewhere with a chilled beverage in your hand, with people you love, ready to enjoy a long weekend. We have this elaborate setup that may encounter a weather-related incident, since it is just sprinkling a touch. We've got food out, and I've been thinking about the last 2 weeks we've had of a crazy news cycle. All the news we saw last week, the horrible tragedy in Charleston, the kind of amazing redemptive grace in the aftermath of that, the huge Supreme Court decisions, the president's eulogy, and it's been a kind of emotional whirlwind. And it got to me thinking a lot about America and what I love about America. And I thought maybe we should just do a whole show the night before this patriotic weekend on what we love about America. So that's what we're going to do. Joining me now, Josh Barrow. He's MSNBC contributor and national correspondent for the New York Times. We also have with us Lorella Praley. Now, Lorella has an amazing story. She's been a guest on our show a bunch of times. She was a guest on the former show. She is now the Latino outreach director for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Before that, she was a dreamer and dream activist. And we've got our buddy Jelani Cobb, staff writer for The New Yorker and director of the Africana Studies Institute at the University of Connecticut. Well, it's great to have you guys here.
Thanks for having us.
Isn't this a crazy space?
I know, it's amazing.
Pretty incredible.
We've been trying to come up with some backstory that will justify the weirdness and awesomeness of the space. Although I just keep thinking about that there are gardeners who tend to this garden that is never seen by anyone. But they're up here all the time, making sure everything looks beautiful. There's just some kind of metaphor there. I don't know what for.
Just pound your fist on the table and say plain love of America, Chris. That's all it is.
Yes, that's right. So I want to start with something I've been thinking about what I love about America. And I think one of the things that ends up happening is that you get this like weird polarization or polarized discussion in which like the right loves America and the left is like the America hating left, and there's this kind of tug of war over who owns the flag, etc. One thing I love about America, a great thing about America, is something in the 14th Amendment of the United States. By the way, 14th Amendment of the United States, passed during Reconstruction, basically at the point of a gun, is a great thing about America. It was was part of the foundational reasoning that got us marriage equality, along with a lot of amazing, important stuff. But in the 14th Amendment, it basically says anyone who's born in this country is a citizen of this country. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. And what this means here in America is that whatever problems we have in terms of our policy mechanisms for dealing with people that come to the U.S. without documentation, if you're born here, you're a citizen. And that is hugely important because there are a lot of countries in the world. Right now, we're seeing in the Dominican Republic, right, where a court order has said to people who've been 2 generations in the Dominican Republic, you're no longer a citizen. In Germany, you have Turks who've been there for 3 generations, who are totally unintegrated into German society because they're not citizens. But here in the U.S., you come to the U.S. and you're a citizen. It's a great thing.
You're not always a citizen when you get here, but there is a process, and we're working to create that process, right?
But if you were born here, you are,
exactly,
right? And so what that does is it means that no matter how marginal your parents might be, right? Like, and there's a Supreme Court decision that says schools have to educate those kids, right? Like it's basically this forcing mechanism to kind of create some kind of totality to what Americanness is, even when our politics get really gnarly on the issue.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you see, it looks like we have all this fighting over immigration in the U.S., and we do, but I think the thing you say about Germany is right, which is that you look at the U.S. compared to a lot of other advanced countries. I mean, look at Japan, which is an almost entirely homogenous society, has this Korean minority that is, that it has had, is not integrated there. The U.S. is one of the few it's one of the few countries that really is relatively accepting of immigrants compared to other countries. So I think, we should, if we grade ourselves on a curve, you can look at Donald Trump this week being ridiculous, but we're better at this than almost any country in Europe or in Asia.
That's part of what I think is important to remember, is that in the midst of this, particularly if you look at the Dominican Republic right now, in which you have essentially ethnic cleansing, and you have the mass forced expulsion of people based on a court order that talks about their facial features. Okay, we're talking. I mean, literally in the court order, it's like if you have like full lips and an African nose, okay, you could end up on the wrong bus out of the country. When you compare that to the 14th Amendment, just says, hey, you're born here, you're a citizen. Like that's a pretty great thing.
Right, and even if you go back to when John Bingham framed the 14th Amendment, it was so perfectly crafted as a refutation of the Dred Scott decision. And so he's looking at this saying, we have this decision that says a group of people can never be citizens here. How are we going to radically alter that? And so, and not only that, it kind of has another effect, which is that, the Civil Rights Act of 1866 is passed, providing equal rights and accommodations and so on, and people are not entirely sure it's constitutional.
Right.
And it's not until the amendment is ratified after that. If people pass the law and it's like, the Supreme Court might invalidate that, well, let's put an amendment into the Constitution that now says that this law, retroactively, we've done the right thing. And so it's a pretty amazing thing just historically to see how that took place.
Lorella, you're someone who was born somewhere else and came here, your family came here. I feel like you've got a very unique and distinctive view on like what you love about America particularly?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say what I love about America is that I get to live my dream, and in many ways I get to live my mother's dream, right? So I had a car accident when I was 2.5, and my right leg was amputated, and my mother came to the United States seeking medical care for me for my prosthetic leg, so that I would not only not have physical barriers, but where I wouldn't be judged and discriminated against because of my gender and because of my physical difference. And, then I think growing up and spending 14 years of my life as an undocumented person in this country as a dreamer, and then today getting to work to help elect the next president of the United States, that is pretty incredible. Yes. It's pretty remarkable. And I think it speaks to who we are as a country. This is not a Lorella story. This is really an American story. And I was just thinking about how you introduced this segment, Chris, and what's happened in the last 2 weeks. And every time America turns to the people who are most affected and says, we believe in you and we hear you. And there's a lot of work that we have to do, but we're constantly learning and we're constantly changing. And that's what makes this country truly special.
That's really, you also, I feel like, have a unique perspective because you were involved in politics before you were a citizen, right? I mean, before you were, so the political process says this is the category of people that get to vote, right? But we also have this great thing called the First Amendment, right? Which guarantees speech rights, and those speech rights don't, you have those speech rights whether you're documented or not, right? And
absolutely.
we have like a big roiling debate in this country whether you're, and that allows a kind of politics that the Dreamers have really shaped, partly because of that First Amendment protection, where you can participate in politics. We're going to talk to someone who participated in a very explicit way with taking down the flag in South Carolina,
yeah.
Right? But you can participate in politics in lots of ways that aren't voting.
Yeah, and that even if you don't have the power to vote, you can still affect politics. And you've seen that with the way the Dreamers have done it, right? They've confronted power head on. They've spoken their truth. They never were shied away from their own personal story. And I think the fact that we could do that in this country and that we weren't put in a bus and sent back to our country of origin, like that is happening. But the fact that we could express ourselves and be real about who we were in America, that's incredible. And you don't find that everywhere. You don't find that when you go to other countries.
Josh, you've got some thoughts about not only the immigrant experience, but innovation and also a city in America that is part of what makes America great. And I agree with you on this. It's going to be a controversial choice. Jelani, you got some thoughts as well. I want to hear what you guys have to say right after we take this break. We'll be right back with more of All in the USA's special Cookout Spectacular, getting slightly damp live on the streets of New York.